Hello, I'm James Tanner. I received an email from an individual who I have not met or heard from before. They have asked me to take some time and talk about the term self-business. Now, that's the wording they used. I am going to refashion that term to something that is more grammatically correct: self-employment. We live in a society since the 2008 recession where a lot of jobs have disappeared and have been very, very slow to come back, if they ever did come back. In fact, many of the jobs that have been created since the 2008 recession are very different in appearance and very different as to the skill set needed to execute those jobs. A lot of people who have traditionally been employed all their life have come to a point where they have been forced to look at the very real possibility of self-employment. Self-business or self-employment is not for everyone. There are some individuals out there who are wired in such a way that they would just be absolutely miserable if they tried self-employment. And then there are individuals, such as myself, who absolutely love self-employment. You have to find out within yourself, and there's lots of good surveys out there online that will help you determine whether or not you have what it takes to be an entrepreneur, whether or not you have what it takes to be self-employed. And I would encourage many of you who are considering self-employment or some form of self-business to take time and really do some serious inventory checking within yourself. Nothing worse than getting launched on a project only to find out 6 months down the road that, hey, this really is not for me. Having said that, I will say that there are a number of people out there who have chosen the path of self-employment to provide at least some kind of income while they continue to look for work. And that is a very, very viable and perfectly acceptable position to be in. I live in a region as great as it is here, very popular tourist destination, but there's an interesting statistic that comes out of this region. Get this, over 50% of the businesses in this region are one-man businesses where the owner is working self-employed. And in fact today, out in the marketplace, more people are being hired on a contract basis than hired as employees. And if you are contracting your services to an employer, then you are in fact self-employed. You are in fact running your own self-business. The tax breaks are great. You get to write off a lot of things when you're self-employed. But if you've never been self-employed before and you don't know what you can or cannot write off, then general rule of thumb, and there's nothing wrong with this, find a shoebox and save every receipt from your day-to-day activities. It doesn't matter if it's personal, doesn't matter if it's clearly business related. I even keep my ATM machine transaction receipts. The reason being is that at tax time, or if you have a bookkeeper and you're doing up quarterly books, you can go and sit down with them and let them tell you what is an acceptable expense and what is not. It doesn't have to be a major headache for you. And in fact, the thought of having somebody come in, having the tax department come in and go through your books doesn't have to be a headache for you. It's an inconvenience and it takes up your time, but that's really all it is. As long as you are doing things above board and ethically, right from the get-go, you shouldn't have any worries or concerns. Matter of fact, the only concern you might have is getting sales. But that's a part of marketing, and that's a different topic all on its own. Yes, self-employment is a great life. Many people are out there doing it for a variety of reasons and in a variety of ways. I encourage it for those of you who are entrepreneurially wired. And if you are working a full-time job, I encourage it um, even as a part-time venture on the side. I'm James Tanner. Enjoy the rest of your day.